Have you ever noticed that men in action movies all wear the same grey t-shirt?
This goes on, a lot of it is so people are gonna get hurt. Want that? Good.
Okay, that's a slight exaggeration. Sometimes the t-shirt is black or white, or he's wearing a grey suit, or a black leather jacket. But if you're watching an action movie set in the real world, and that movie has a male protagonist, well, that guy's outfit will be as boring as humanly possible. And as a fan of costume design and action movies, I'd like to tell you why that sucks.
Alright, let's do this, boys. Heads down, stay safe.
Hi there, I'm Gabia Baker-Whitelaw, and this is Behind the Scenes, where we decode the world of costume design. Action movies don't feel like an obvious place for bold fashion choices. However, if you really think about it, some of the most iconic action heroes do have really distinctive outfits. John Wick doesn't necessarily have an unusual costume, but his tailored black suit is instantly recognisable in context. And James Bond is a famously snappy dresser. Meanwhile, the Kingsman movies make a huge deal out of the main character's fashion sense. Echoing the Audrey Hepburn movie My Fair Lady, we see a posh mentor teach a working-class protege how to act and dress like an English gentleman.
This additional decorative piece is called broguing.
Oxford's not brogues.
Words to live by, Eggsy. Words to live by.
I don't want to muddy the waters too much by discussing action movies that cross over into other subgenres like sci-fi, but Blade, Indiana Jones, and Neo from The Matrix are all obvious examples of action heroes with truly iconic outfits. Not to mention Mad Max, whom I discussed in my Fury Road episode a few weeks ago. Check the link in the description to watch that. Inception is another deceptively brilliant example of smart costuming. This movie may feature a lot of men wearing grey suits, but costume designer Jeffrey Kurland paid meticulous attention to detail. Each character's personality shines through in their fashion choices, from Joseph Gordon-Levitt's neat, modern menswear to Tom Hardy's more casual vintage style.
I am impressed.
A cool outfit can help us engage with a character, especially in a genre like action, where we don't learn much from the script. It's also great branding. If we can recognise a character from a Halloween knockoff costume, which is definitely true for Indiana Jones or the Terminator, then that's a truly memorable design. But for some reason, Hollywood is obsessed with making male action heroes look boring. There are dozens of movies where Liam Neeson or Bruce Willis wear a forgettable grey suit or a leather jacket. It's like they're determined to make these men look as nondescript as possible, but this only makes sense for a character like Jason Bourne, who's actively trying to blend into a crowd. At the risk of stating the obvious, movies are a visual medium. If your main character wears grey, in a movie with a primarily grey colour palette, that makes action scenes harder to follow. I rarely notice this problem in East Asian martial arts movies, which often display more visual imagination than American blockbusters. Although you could make the argument that in the Fast and Furious franchise, the cars serve the purpose of costumes. Each vehicle is colourful or distinctive, making it easy to follow the chase scenes. Still, it's definitely true that female characters get more interesting outfits, while the guys are mostly dressed in black t-shirts, tank tops, and shapeless jeans. They are barely even allowed to wear colours. To be honest, I think these bland costume choices are fueled by sexism and homophobia.
Sorry, boys.
There's a widespread belief that straight men shouldn't be interested in fashion. And action movies are supposedly the most macho genre of all, conforming to a very conservative American view of masculinity. You can see how restrictive this is in the Fast and Furious franchise. The main heroes all wear extremely simple, monochrome outfits. Meanwhile, the secondary leads get more freedom to wear colours and patterns. The characters played by Sung Kang, Tyrese Gibson, and Ludacris are allowed to look more interesting because they play comedic or supporting roles.
Whoa, fellas. I know my tags are out of date, but damn.
By comparison, female action heroes have much more leeway. In Kill Bill, Uma Thurman's costume is rightfully famous. In Charlie's Angels, the girls wear a wide variety of silly, sexy outfits. In Atomic Blonde, Charlize Theron's character has a glorious wardrobe of designer clothes. And in Hannah, one of my favourite action thrillers, costuming plays a major role in the heroine's characterization. Of course, female characters are also more likely to be sexualized with ridiculous, impractical outfits. But you can still see how great costumes contribute to the quality of a film like Kill Bill. By dressing men in boring outfits, Hollywood studios are intentionally making those films worse, and it's probably because they're scared of looking unmasculine, whatever that means. Action movie trends go in cycles. At the moment, the biggest blockbuster action films are superhero franchises, while grittier movies try to copy Jason Bourne or John Wick. A lot of these heroes work in the military or law enforcement, and their job is to protect women, children, or the concept of American freedom. Needless to say, they're always heterosexual. Obviously, there's a lot more variety in the genre, but to me, a specific body shape is a defining element of this era. Right now, male action stars have to be absolutely shredded. To maintain the right physique, they have to follow grueling workout regimens, and in some cases, secretly take steroids or human growth hormone. But this wasn't always the case. In the past, actors could play James Bond or Batman without going on a zero-carb diet and working out for 3 hours a day. But that's Hollywood's current image of what strong, heroic men should look like. Considering today's topic, this trend has a very ironic origin story.
And the 8th and final rule. If this is your first night at Fight Club, you have to fight.
While it's not really an action movie, Fight Club was the real game changer. To play Tyler Durden, Brad Pitt gave himself a lean, muscular physique, doing push-ups on set so he'd always look jacked on camera. This kind of bodybuilder look is impossible to maintain on a long-term basis, and in the past it was only adopted by actual bodybuilders. But after Fight Club, everyone wanted to look like Brad Pitt. I said this was ironic because in Fight Club, Tyler Durden is basically the opposite of today's generic t-shirt wearing action heroes. He's flashy and charming, and his role is blatantly homoerotic. The whole point is that he's more exciting and confident than the dweeby Edward Norton. But as an antagonist, maybe Tyler Durden had more freedom in his fashion choices.
Congratulations. You're one step closer to hitting bottom.
There's a long history of male villains having more exciting costumes because they don't need to follow the conservative macho rulebook. In fact, some villains are intentionally effeminate or queer-coded, showing the other side of the belief that masculinity equals heroism. After Fight Club, we saw Hollywood embrace Tyler Durden's body, but discard his flamboyant dress sense. The result is a trend for dull, forgettable costumes that provide a blank canvas for an action hero's bulging biceps and rippling abs. But does this really make those characters look cooler or stronger? In my view, it just removes any sense of personality. But it doesn't have to be this way. The John Wick movies are a perfect blueprint for how action films can use fashion to their advantage. Designed by Luca Mosca, who also plays John Wick's tailor, these costumes are both stylish and informative.
Tell me, Mr. Wick, is this a formal event or a social affair?
Social.
And is this for day or evening?
At the centre, John is a sleek, black, dangerous silhouette. Then the villains and supporting characters all have distinctive looks, like Lawrence Fishburne's ragged style as the Bowery King, or Ian McShane's old-fashioned cravats, or Halle Berry's casual golden glamour. The franchise is full of characters with elaborate theatrical costumes, regardless of gender, and that's definitely a good thing, playing into the film's rich visual landscape and stylized lighting. Right now, a lot of action filmmakers are trying to copy John Wick's fight choreography and cinematic style, but they could benefit from paying more attention to the costumes as well. Thanks so much for watching Behind the Scenes. So, what's your favourite action movie costume? Share your favourites and why you love them in the comments below. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you'll never miss a future episode. And check out the other episodes linked right here for more on the fascinating world of costume design. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.